My fiancée said, "I'm not helping pay for your mom's surgery. That's your problem." I said, "You're right." Then I made our breakup her problem to explain. Her family group chat going silent when they found out why. Original post. I, 32 male, am, or I guess was engaged to Tessa, 29. We've been together for 4 years, living together for 2 in a house I own. I bought it before we met. She pays a small amount for utilities. I cover the mortgage. We were in the deep end of wedding planning. 6 months out. Tessa is, let's say, she has a vision. And her family, her mom Brenda, her dad Robert, her sister Kira, are all very involved. We have a family group chat, Tessa's big day. Yes, with the exclamation point. That buzzes about 100 times a day. It's all about floral arrangements, charger plates, and why we must have the string quartet, not a DJ for the cocktail hour. I'm a project manager. I'm organized. I like spreadsheets. I had a separate high-yield savings account that I'd been funding for 2 years. This was the wedding fund. It had just over $30,000 in it, which was our budget. My budget. My savings. Tessa's contribution was her vision. 2 weeks ago, my world fell apart. My mom, Judith, 61, who has been my rock my entire life, got a sudden, terrifying diagnosis. A rare kind of tumor wrapped around a nerve in her neck. The specialist, the only guy who can do this surgery, is out of network. The total cost after insurance, a joke, was going to be close to $40,000. I had $10,000 in my personal emergency fund, but I was $30,000 short. I was a wreck. I sat Tessa down that night. I was shaking. "Tess," I said, my voice barely working. It's mom. It's bad. She needs surgery. The gap is $30,000. Tessa's face was concerned, but in a distant way. Like I just told her our flight was delayed. "Oh my God, Liam. That's awful. Is she okay?" "No, she's not okay. She needs this surgery like now." I took a deep breath. I have to pull the money from the wedding fund. It's the only way. We'll have to postpone. Or just go to the courthouse. I don't care. I just need to pay the hospital. The concerned look vanished. It was replaced by a sharp, cold alarm. "What?" "Liam, no. You can't." I stared at her. What?" "I have to. It's my mom." "No," she said, standing up. "That is our wedding money. That money is for the venue. It's for the caterer. I have a dress fitting on Tuesday. You can't just take it." I was so stunned I couldn't even form a word. "Tessa, it's my mother's life. The wedding doesn't matter." "Yes, it does." Her voice was rising, getting that shrill edge it gets when the barista gets her latte wrong. "It matters to me and to my family. We have deposits down. People are flying in. Why can't your mom?" "I don't know. Get a different doctor? One that's in network? Or can't she just wait?" "Wait? Tessa, they said it could be. They said we can't wait." She crossed her arms. Her face was set. Hard. This is the moment that will be burned into my brain forever. "Liam, this isn't fair. You're putting me in a terrible position. I'm not helping you pay for your mom's surgery. That's your problem. It's your family. You need to find another way. That money is for our future. Our future. A future that apparently didn't include my mother." I looked at her. Really looked at her. The woman I was going to promise my life to. And I felt nothing. Just a sudden, icy calm. The project manager in me just took over. "You're right," I said. My voice was quiet. Her shoulders relaxed, a smug little smile playing on her lips. "See? I knew you'd understand. We just need to be smart about this. Maybe she can do a go-foo." "You're right," I said again, cutting her off. "It is my problem." I stood up, walked to my desk, and opened my laptop. "What are you doing?" she asked, annoyed. "I'm not done talking." I didn't answer. I logged into my bank. I found the wedding fund account. I hit transfer. Amount, $30,000. From wedding fund savings to personal checking. Confirm. Your transfer is complete. I closed the laptop. "Liam, what did you just do?" "I'm handling my problem," I said. "My mom's surgery deposit is being paid. Tonight. You took it? You stole our wedding money." "No," I said. "I took my money from my savings account, and I'm using it to solve my problem. Just like you said." You can't," she shrieked. "What about the caterer? What about the flowers? My mother is calling the venue tomorrow. I picked up my phone. I opened the Tessa's Big Day group chat. It was pinging, of course. Something from Kira about centerpiece mock-ups. I typed one message. Hi Brenda, Robert, and Kira. Unfortunately, I've had to liquidate the wedding fund I had saved. A serious, non-negotiable family medical emergency has come up. This means I am no longer able to contribute financially to any part of the wedding. All vendor contracts, deposits, and future payments will need to be handled by you and Tessa. I'm sure Tessa can explain the details. I hit send. Then I turned to Tessa, whose face was a mask of pure, white-hot rage. You bastard. You threw me to the wolves. My mother is in that chat. I know, I said. I grabbed my keys and my wallet. You told me it was my problem. I've solved it. The wedding. Well, that's your problem now. Where are you going? To the hospital. To go sit with my mom. I walked out the door. My phone started vibrating so hard it almost flew out of my hand. 19 missed calls from Tessa. Text from Brenda. Text from Kira. Text from Robert. I put on Do Not Disturb. I sat in my car in the hospital parking lot for an hour. I didn't cry. I just processed. The project just changed. The goal is no longer get married. The goal is save mom. And exit. Update 1 week later. I, 32, am writing this from a hospital recliner. My mom, Judith, had her surgery 48 hours ago. It was 10 hours long. The surgeon, the out-of-network magician, said he's cautiously optimistic and got clear margins. It's the first good news I've had in ever. It feels like. Thank you for the DMs. It's nice to not feel alone. The fallout from the text to the family group chat was immediate and thermonuclear. I had my phone on D&D, but the notifications piled up into the hundreds. When I finally looked, it was a masterclass in entitlement. From Brenda, Tessa's mom, Liam, this is not acceptable. Call me immediately. You can't just cancel a wedding over text. We have non-refundable deposits. From Kira, sister WTF Liam, you're ruining everything. Tessa is hysterical. What emergency? From Robert, Dad Liam, son, let's be rational. There's always a solution. Don't make any rash decisions. And from Tessa, dozens of texts. You're a monster. You're selfish. You've humiliated me and my family. You better put that money back. I'm not canceling my wedding. My mother is having a panic attack. I hope you're happy. You OWE me this wedding, Liam. I didn't respond to any of them. I spent 2 days at the hospital with my mom. I slept in this crappy chair. I drank bad coffee. I talked to doctors. I held my mom's hand while she was loopy on painkillers. Tessa didn't text to ask about my mom. Not once. She just kept texting about the venue. Then, yesterday, they showed up. My mom was asleep. I was in the cafeteria trying to eat something that wasn't from a vending machine. My phone rang. It was Tessa. I declined. A second later, she was standing in the cafeteria doorway with Brenda. They looked furious. Liam. Tessa marched over my table. A nurse gave her a shush look. You're ignoring me, she whisper-shrieked. I'm a little busy, Tessa. My mom just had major surgery. Your mom? Brenda scoffed, crossing her arms. Right. This whole thing is so dramatic, Liam. I'm sure she would have been fine. I just looked at her. Dramatic. Her surgeon pulled a tumor the size of a golf ball out of her neck. But I'm glad you, a part-time real estate agent, have a better medical opinion. Brenda's face flushed. There's no need to be rude. We are here to fix this. You've embarrassed us. You've embarrassed Tessa. I embarrassed you? I said, actually laughing. By paying for my mother's surgery? By stealing the wedding fund? Tessa snapped. That was our money. For our day. It was my money, Tessa. From my savings, which I was going to spend on a wedding until my mother's life got in the way. And what about my life? She said, her voice cracking with pure, uncut entitlement. What about my dress? I put a $5,000 non-refundable deposit on my custom gown. I used my credit card, assuming you'd pay me back from the fund. You OWE me $5,000, Liam. I just stared at her. A $5,000 deposit. She was worried about a dress while my mom was in the ICU. So, let me get this straight, I said, my voice dangerously calm. My mother is upstairs, fighting for her life. And you are here, in this hospital, harassing me for a dress. It's not just a dress, she wailed. It's my wedding. You're ruining it. You're selfish. You never cared about me. It was always about her. She pointed up towards the ICU. You're right, I said, and I saw a flicker of victory in her eyes. She thought I was caving. I'm selfish, I continued. I'm selfishly choosing my mother's life over your party. I'm selfishly choosing to end my relationship with a person who would ask me to make that choice. And I'm selfishly going to ask you both to get the hell out of this hospital before I have security do it. Brenda looked appalled. You wouldn't. Try me, I said, pulling out my phone. She's your daughter. I'm sure you'll figure out how to pay for her dress. This isn't over, Liam. Tessa yelled as I walked away. You still live with me. You still have to come home. This is my house, Tessa, I called back over my shoulder. I bought it in 2018. And no, I don't. I had a friend of mine, Alistair, go to my house that afternoon. He's built like a linebacker. He went with a police escort. I called the non-emergency line, explained I needed to retrieve personal items, and my fiancé was becoming unhinged. Alistair packed 2 weeks worth of my clothes, my work setup, and my toiletries. Tessa was apparently there, screaming and crying the whole time. Alistair said he just put on his headphones. While he was there, I made another call. To a lawyer. I'm not just ending a project. I'm starting a new one. Operation Eviction. Update 2. The final update. I'm back in my own house. It's quiet. My mom, Judith, is here with me. She's recovering on the pull-out sofa in the living room, watching old movies, and she's going to be okay. She's complaining about the food I'm making, which is how I know she's really back. It's been 6 weeks since the hospital confrontation. This was a war, not a big, flashy one. A quiet, procedural, paperwork war. And as a project manager, I live for that. Tessa did not, in fact, move out. After Alistair retrieved my things, she doubled down. She refused to leave my house. Her logic, we were engaged. This is my home. You can't just kick me out. She was right to a point. Even though she wasn't on the mortgage or deed, she had established residency. I couldn't just change the locks. So I had my lawyer, Camila, draw up the papers. A formal, legal eviction notice. Gave her 30 days. Tessa's response? She got her own lawyer. This is where the entitlement went from annoying to legally actionable. She didn't just want to stay. She wanted payment. I got a letter from her lawyer, a guy who looked like he specialized in slip and falls. It claimed that Tessa was entitled to the $5,000 for her non-refundable dress deposit, an additional $15,000 for her emotional distress and social humiliation from the public cancellation of the wedding, $10,000 for her contributions to the household and unpaid domestic labor during the 2 years she lived with me. And the grand finale, she was demanding I sell the house and give her 50% of the equity, claiming it was a shared marital asset in all but name. I read the letter. I drank a very large scotch. Then I called Camila. This is a joke, right? It's a nuisance suit, Liam, she said, sounding tired. It's an intimidation tactic. She's hoping you'll panic and pay her something to go away. I'm not paying her a dime. Good, Camila said, because we're not just going to respond. We're going to educate. This is the part I'm proud of. This was my revenge. Camila drafted a response letter. It was a 10-page masterpiece of polite, brutal, fact-based destruction. It included a copy of my bank statement showing the $30,000 was in a sole proprietor savings account, opened before our engagement, funded solely by my paycheck. A copy of the deed and mortgage documents for my house, showing I was the sole owner, purchased 24 months before she even moved in. A detailed breakdown of the utilities she paid, which averaged $114 per month, versus the $2,200 per month I paid for the mortgage, taxes, insurance, and all other household expenses. We, politely, suggested her unpaid domestic labor was more than compensated for by her living virtually rent-free for 2 years. A copy of the receipt from the hospital showing a $30,000 deposit made for critical neck tumor resection, proving the funds were used for a verifiable medical emergency. And finally, a goodwill offer to settle this matter. We would not be paying her a cent. Instead, we were demanding she pay me $8,200. This was for her share of non-refundable deposits I had paid for the venue and the band, which were canceled as a direct result of her refusal to support a partner through a family crisis, constituting a breach of the engagement agreement. But here's the best part, the her problem to explain finale. Tessa's lawyer sent the demand letter only to my lawyer. Camila sent our response, not just to Tessa's lawyer. She CC'd Robert and Brenda, Tessa's last name, her parents. The cover letter read, Mr. Lawyer's name. Given that your client's parents, Mr. and Mrs. last name, were active participants in all financial and logistical planning for the canceled wedding, as evidenced by hundreds of messages in the Tessa's Big Day group chat, we are including them on this correspondence to ensure all parties are fully apprised of the factual and legal realities of this situation, and to prevent any further frivolous claims being made on Ms. Tessa's last name. Behalf. It was a tactical nuke. It forced her parents, who she had undoubtedly been feeding a Liam stole our money and abandoned me story, to see the cold, hard, legal truth, to see the receipt from the hospital, to see the deed to my house, to see in writing that their daughter was suing me for living in my house for free. The results were glorious. Tessa's lawyer called Camila 24 hours later. He was apologetic. There's been a misunderstanding. My client will be withdrawing her claims. The 30-day eviction deadline held. On the 30th day, Robert and Kira showed up with a U-Haul. Not Brenda. Not Tessa. Robert looked exhausted. He wouldn't make eye contact. He just nodded at me. Liam. They moved her stuff out in silence. Kira, the sister, paused on her way out. Liam, she said, her voice low. For what it's worth, my family is embarrassed. What she did, and then this. She held up a copy of our lawyer's letter. Mom and Dad are furious at her. I'm sorry you got caught in the middle, Kira. Yeah, well, she's got to live with Mom and Dad now. So I guess that's its own punishment. Good luck with your mom. And they left. The final, beautiful consequence? Tessa lost everything. She lost me. She lost her dream wedding. She lost her free ride living in my house. She lost her $5,000 dress, I assume. But worse? She lost face. She lost the respect of her own family, who she tried to use as her personal army. They saw exactly who she was. They had to call their friends, their family, all the people they bragged to, and explain why the wedding was off. And they knew it was because their daughter valued a party more than a person. She didn't just have to explain it. She's having to live it. That's her problem now.